John Harbaugh.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit on the hot seat there in Baltimore. Now, a stat that was floating around here, and we're going to discuss this stat because stats don't always tell the full story; they only tell part of the story. John Harbaugh has blown 17 double-digit second half leads. It's the most by any coach since at least 1991, and that was posted on X. Little stat there, and that was actually posted beginning of the season. I would say about 4 or 5 games. I think that was posted when they blew that lead to Baltimore. Someone posted that stat, but that stat's been floating around, and I've been meaning to talk about it. So we can just have a conversation about it because it's targeting here one of my favorite guys, John Harbaugh, who I don't feel like it tells the full story. Because with Harbaugh in particular, while I do get that he would be on the hot seat, it's not like you had Lamar healthy.
No,
this season. So and there's gonna be some downtimes, man. It's like a love and marriage, man. Sometimes it's gonna be ups and sometimes it's gonna be downs. But at least with a guy like Harbaugh, who's got a record of who's got over 60% winning percentage with Baltimore, which is pretty good.
Yeah,
it's pretty good because he's been there a long time. So when you're thinking about his shortcomings and where the season falls now, do you think that the seat should be as hot as it is? Should it be lukewarm? How hot do you feel like that seat should be?
I don't think it should be. I mean, they've got so many injuries. I get teams are hit injuries and they kind of move on, but like they've got legit star players that are injured. I know you mentioned Lamar, like half their defense is injured. I mean, Kyle Hamilton, their studs safety is out. I mean, it's just been one thing after another, and here's the thing. It's like if you let them go, there are going to be tons of teams ready to sign him up. It's like, why?
Man, it'll be an Andy Reid. Remember when Andy Reid got let go by the Eagles? And I told my mom, I said, "Mommy, this guy's going to have calls before he even gets out the building. This guy, he's going to have a job before he gets out the building. I guarantee you."
Right. And it's like, why? And he's respected in the organization. The players still love him. Like, you don't hear anything. Like, that's the thing. He hasn't lost the locker room. It's just the team has not looked good. I mean, it's like, but again, he's fielding the team he's fielding out there. Just like, I mean, I didn't realize Cooper Rush was still on an NFL roster until he was starting for the the Ravens the other day. It's like, oh, that guy. You remember he had those few moments in Dallas, but unless you're getting, I mean, I know Sean McVay's not going to leave the Rams, but if you're getting unless Sean McVay is somewhat wants to leave the Rams for some crazy reason, which I don't think he ever is. I just don't why hire somebody who's as soon as he's gone, some team is throwing all the money at they can at him. Why get rid of that? Why get rid of the he's good coach. They always build a contender, and I get it. They've had shortcomings when it comes to the playoffs. You want to see them go farther, but man, why when they're next year they're just going to be, if they're healthy, they're going to be right back there in that same spot again, compete for playoffs, going to hopefully get into the next level, and hopefully get into the almost said World Series, get into Super Bowl.
Well, at 173 and 109, I feel like he could lose every game this season and still you have a winning record. You know what I mean? Why? What are you doing? This didn't even be like a conversation. And while I get that, people post things like this, and these are interesting stats, and you never know. Like by the time, depending on how he does and when you're listening to this show, this can get worse for him or better for him, as time goes on. But I think that this is a glowing situation or an example of a stat, not necessarily telling the whole story here. Eugene, I'm not sure if he should be on the on any kind of hot seat there in Baltimore, especially coupled with the injuries, right? Now you're talking about the injuries and maybe just an off year. Because how many off years, if you're a coach like Harbaugh and you got a 60, you got a couple chips, you got a 60, wait, at least a chip. I say a couple chips. He's got a championship.
Mm-hmm.
When you're a guy who's got a chip and a 60% winning record or coaching record, how many? I mean, you get a bad year or two in there, right? As long as they don't come in succession. How bad does it get, Eugene, in that kind of situation? How bad does it get before the seat really gets hot?
Oh, it's got to be like consecutive losing seasons, right? I mean, if it continues, so say like he gets healthy, they get a healthy team next year, and it's like kind of the same thing, then you start going, wait a minute, this now your team's healthy, and you're running back. We improved in these other areas for you. We improved your defense, offense, whatever the case is. They do via free agency, via the draft this coming year. It's like now you're kind of running out of excuses. So now we kind of let you have the mulligan because you did have a ton of injuries, which you do. But now it's like, wait a minute, you're healthy this year, and now you're still in the same place. So I think if you go more like consecutive seasons, then you start to kind of have that real conversation.
So then, if you go, and also, are you thinking about this too? When you think about the season, when we talk about the seasons, let's say he hasn't won this season, a couple seasons where he has 4 wins or so each season, which would be abysmal.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
Let's
about.
say he has 2 seasons like that. Do you give him a pass if the injuries are significant as they are now? Because the injury situations are a significant amount of injuries for them. Do you give him a pass for that?
I definitely get him one for this year. It all depends on how they construct the team next year. Are they gonna that's? But
does that fall to him? They got a pretty good GM there.
They do. No, they do. And I just think if you still keep running the same situation, then you're like, okay, then we need to really think about what's going on here. So yeah, back to back. I think it's warranted at least a conversation.
Does that call you into the office time? Because remember what happened there in New England? Was it a situation in New England where a personal situation broke them up in New England, or was it a situation where they I know the losses piled up, but you would think that with all the winning that they've had, in New England and the pedigree and that they've had and they've established with that relationship with Kraft and Belichick that they had there, that it would have seemed like it was something more than just the wins and losses at the end of the day that kind of breaks that up. Like maybe, hey, we're just not feeling each other anymore. And then the wins and losses are in there too. Is it always something? Is it just wins and losses always? Or because I would think it would have to be something like that. That's the only thing that I would imagine that could cause this seat to get hotter.
Right. You don't see that from the ownership. The ownership group kind of stays out of it, right? You don't really hear them kind of in the middle of those types of things when it comes to Baltimore. But yeah, I think it's 2 more. But you did next season, you're definitely having the conversation after that second season. Like, okay, what are we gonna do?
Getting called into the office then,
basically. Get you all the
not
office,
necessarily firing. Is what you're saying, but he's at least going to get spoken to.
At least spoken to, and let's see how that next season starts. And then maybe you're looking at, so if you're like the Callahan, you start 1-4 and you have a healthy team, I think then you're looking at the thing, okay, maybe we need to make a change. But I don't see that coming from John. I don't see that coming from this coach. He's always been one of those guys who finds a way to put someone smarter around him. Like when he realized that the offense was sputtering, he found a better coordinator. It's like he finds things.
He's finding good coordinators too, man.
Right. He finds good coordinators. And that's the thing. It's not like he's not stubborn. I think that was Belichick's downfall. It's like Belichick wanted to keep the control and everything. And it's like, dude, you lost so many drafts for that franchise. You put them behind in so many ways of your inadequate drafting style. And you just don't see it with Baltimore. Baltimore's like, Baltimore reminds me of OKC. Like, we're just going to draft the best person. We don't care where that person plays. We don't care what position. They're like that positionless franchise. They're gonna find the person, and they kind of like Pittsburgh, right? In that sense, like they just go and find. Of course, that guy's it's like of course that guy's plays for Baltimore. Of course, that guy's plays for Pittsburgh. They're just one of those
Right.
franchises. They're smart, and they just draft the next guy, and it's like they know. Again, if they look where they got Lamar. Lamar was almost in the second round, right? And the end of the first round, they got him. It's like they're just smart, and it's like you just don't see smart franchises making dumb decisions and panicking, and they just never have done that before.
Very true, and I think firing or even having Harbaugh on the hot seat, I think would be a dumb decision. Now, I think that one of the things that you have to put out there is that we talked about the length of time maybe it takes for the seat to get a little bit hotter. Maybe it takes a season or two, a few seasons of losing. Maybe it takes a few seasons of losing or a combination of a few seasons of losing and then injuries, depending on how many injuries are there. But another thing that I want to touch on could make the seat a little bit hotter, in my opinion, is the way it looks. If it continues to look the way it had looked at the beginning of the season, if you continue to look where you're losing games and teams are putting 30, 40 up on you consistently, if you continue to look like a shell of yourself in how you performing in some of the games that you perform, if that continues,
right,
that's another thing that can accelerate the heat on the hot seat.